Hi guys, I wanted to first chat a little about Tesla. Now, big thing about Tesla right now is it's down 11%. Now, this has been going down for quite a bit, and one of the things I wanted to look at was, what are the key things that are causing Tesla to constantly go down? Now, some folks were talking about Twitter and the mere fact that Elon Musk was there and he was being distracted by Twitter and all of that stuff. Some people were talking about interest rates as it relates to the stock and not necessarily the fundamentals. But one of the things I wanted to do was go through what my thesis is. And guys, I'm not a financial analyst, so please don't. I'm not a financial advisor, so please don't take what I say for anything other than just entertainment purposes. And it's just me just spouting at the mouth about this stock, right? And do not use this as any means that will influence you to invest any way that you want to do that. So one thing I wanted to quickly look at was based on my view of Tesla, and give you some FUD. They call it fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But one of the key things was I wanted to look beyond just the mere fact that Elon Musk is at Twitter, because I don't know what that necessarily has to do with the stock going down so violently. Because I mean, the stock is way down, and we can't just say the stock is down because of Elon Musk, because if you look at it, the stock is down 11% today. If you were to go back 5 days, the stock is down 25%. 1 month, it's down 40%. 6 months, the stock is down 53%. And if you want to look for 1 year, it's down 69.93. So almost 70%, the stock is down. Now, that's not just because of Twitter. And for me, it can't be. And some people may say this has something to do with interest rates and how interest rates affect stocks. But for me, listen, interest rates, I do understand will affect stocks, and that's just fundamentals because this has a high, growth multiple, and yeah, interest rates will affect it. But that's not the big thing that's affecting this. I mean, that affects part of it, but the big thing is the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are quite important. And one of the big things that came out that I saw that we cannot ignore is that there are discounts happening. $7,500 discounts if you can get buy this thing early. And what does that mean? If you have a high growth multiple and you're saying that this stock it's predicated largely on it's growing and having a growing market share, if you're giving discounts out, it does not go into the narrative that this is going to grow quite well. And one of the things I wanted to look at was what is it that analysts are saying. Analysts are looking for this stock next year, and as you can see, if you look to the right hand side, they're looking for an average estimate of an EPS of $5.43, low end $4, high end $7.97. Now that's important, very important, because most times people price stocks on forward PE, and right now if you look at the forward PE and you just take the average, you know they're giving this stock kind of a 20 multiple, a little bit of a about 20 PE ratio. That's what they're giving it. Now, my thoughts on it is a 20 PE, for Tesla, because we're talking about Tesla, right? If we're talking about Tesla, we should be seeing high multiples because of growth. But one of the things is a lot of people sometimes they conflate Twitter and all this noise. And one of the things I like to talk about is noise versus signal. And the noise may be Twitter, and it may be the interest rates that the Fed has raised interest rates, there. But the big important part that to me is I will go back to this most important thing for me is these few items. So let's look at this a bit, right? We already see that there is a bit of an issue with the highest interest rates, but not the way that a lot of people want to talk about it. Teslas are quite expensive, so people are going to borrow money to, through leasing or financing to get a Tesla. Higher interest rates means that people are going to take a step back and figure out, do I really want to do this? And one of the big things is that a Tesla car is actually a durable, and you have the choice of do you buy your car now or do you defer it for a little while. And even in my own life, my car, it's a 2019 car right now, and you know 3 years on it. And if I was to say, next year or the year after, do I want to buy a car? Probably I'm too early in the cycle. But if it was like 10 years old, I would have to make the decision if I want to buy right now or I want to keep the clunker going. And sometimes people will keep a clunker going because they don't want to go out there and risk, buying a car, doing new financing with higher interest rates. And the next thing is you have a potential recession. People may be scared of taking on some, selling their used car and buying a brand new car, and that could be a big issue. And we just did covered the fact that there are year-end discounts being offered. That does not go into the growth narrative at all. That just tells me that potentially, there could be some issue with car sales. And then the next thing that I and also margin compression. And the next thing is just out today, there was lower reported weekly sales out of China. So, because today's 11% drop, I believe that was linked definitely to me. That's what I feel is, basically the weak numbers coming out of Shanghai. And then the next thing that I wanted to chat a little bit about was the growth narrative has one big thing involved is that Tesla's growth will grow unabated for the future. And that really does not take into account competitors. This is the Audi e-tron. This is a sexy car. Like, I look at this as a sexy car, and I think that people are discounting the fact that the German automakers, Mercedes, BMW, and Volkswagen is a massive company. A lot of people don't understand that Volkswagen has so many car brands under it, and one of the big things is, like, if I was in the market and I had money to buy a car, like, I would be looking between these two cars. It would be so easy for me to say, which one do I have? Although I think kind of the Audi looks a little sexier. It has a little bit more curves that I would like. But that's what's in the future. And so the multiple that Tesla has right now, is it justified? And will they make the EPS, that's there? Now, for me, I'm on the sidelines because I am no expert in Tesla or Tesla stock or that. I normally stick with companies that I utilize all the time, and companies that I know and I feel that, hey, I shop there, I can go nearby to the factory or wherever it is, or get more information on it. I'm not that great on this. And as I said, this is not for investment advice. But what I'm looking at is tomorrow, as we go into this, we could have a little bit of a recovery. We could have, another step down. But I've had experience with the stock market. And one thing and we all know, when that momentum hits, it's like an avalanche. Because I mean, I earlier this year it was Baba for me. Baba just started barreling downwards, and you kept wondering if there's going to be a stop in sight. And funny enough, it just never happened, and it settled after a while. But I don't know what Tesla will settle at. One thing for me personally, I think Tesla is a very good company, but is it at a fair price? And that's the most important thing for me. Is Tesla at a fair price? If it's not at a fair price, this stock will keep going downwards. And the thing is that the volume that you're seeing on this stock is tremendous. And when you see tremendous volume like this, it's not little guys like you and me doing this. This volume tells me, I was taking a quick look at the volume so let's take a quick look at this volume here. This volume here is, we had 108 million shares. Now, you do a little back of the envelope math. That's $10 billion was spent in the volume. $10 billion. Now, when you look at that and you see $10 billion of shares traded and the stock goes downward, is that retail mom and pop selling their 10 shares, or some medium-sized investor selling 1,000 shares? This seems quite big. And I was just wondering, is there potential, another step down? I don't know, because a few days ago I thought that it was done, because it was in the 120s, it went to 114, then it's now down to 109. I don't know what's next. But what's important for me though is that my sympathies to those who own this stock and have held this stock maybe last year, who got it based on FOMO. I don't know what I would do in that position. I've been there before, and I've been there where I have a stock that is way underwater. and I'm truly confused what to do next. I've been there before, but one of the things I do know is that if I believe in the fundamentals of a company, then it helps me to sleep better at night. um I guess you have to do your own research on it. The one good thing about Tesla, it's a profitable company. But as I said, it's profitable. I think it's a good company, but does it have a fair price? And that's important. And is the EPS that's being projected, is it that some folks are thinking that they won't meet that EPS, that they're expecting to meet that growth, or even a retreat? But as I'm saying, guys, I do not believe that this has anything to do with Twitter, because that, like, we're talking about almost $800 billion of value was wiped off of one company in 1 year. That's not anything anything to think of. It's just something frivolous like someone's political views. To me, I can see a bit of the fundamentals playing in this. And I will, and as I close out this live, one of the important things that I would say to anyone in this stock, as I said, I would not know what to do at this point, because one of the big things is it is a good company, I won't lie, but is it a fair price? And I think that that's going to be the most important thing as people hold this. But tomorrow will be interesting. I'm going to cover a little more on this. It may recover, it may go down a little, like, down more. But as time goes on, I think you'll start to see the talking heads move less away from Twitter and more about the discussion of, is there margin compression happening because of the discounts? Is there, are interest rates affecting what they expect, the number of cars people expect to buy? And then what does it mean about the future car competition? Because those competitors out there, I don't think you can laugh at them. I think Audi has a pretty nice car. I think other companies have nice offerings. So just wanted to do a quick live on that. Thanks, guys. I'll leave this up for a little while, but if you're invested in the company, as I said, I would not know what to do at this point. I always say you have to make your decision, and you have to think it through and evaluate it, and yeah, make your decision. Thanks, guys.